we please apologize to our viewers there. That's a bit of a delay there. But Henry, getting to talk about this access to finance, what will be the big story here when this report is finally released next week, Tuesday? What are new findings?
Fantastic. So for the first time, we'll be able to provide headline financial inclusion indicators for each state. Before now, we provide at national level the level of financial inclusion and the level of financial exclusion at national level and geopolitical zones. But for the first time, we're going to be breaking it down to give headline indicators of financial inclusion at state level. And again, we're also going to be getting all the stakeholders together to really discuss part of the findings from this survey to know the reason why, how far we have come, because what we are working towards is towards achieving the financial inclusion agenda, the Nigerian financial inclusion agenda, which is to reduce financial exclusion to 20% by 2020. So the survey is going to provide insights on the current state of financial inclusion in Nigeria and know how far we have come and what is left for us to achieve the target of 20% by 2020.
Yes, Henry, but again, if you look at, EFINA has done this survey over the last 10 years, 2008, 2010, and 12, and 14, and 16. What trend are you seeing in the previous report compared to the current one, which is coming, being inaugurated on Tuesday?
So for 2014, from 2014 to 2016, we noticed that we realized from the survey, that the level of financial exclusion actually went up and currently at 40.1% of adult population financially excluded. We are very hopeful that the data for 2018 will be positive, but I can't say, I can't give that figure. We don't know what it's going to be, but by next week, we should be able to share the key findings from the survey.
Okay, we appreciate your time, but again, don't you think that we've made some progress if you look at technology being a game changer within the Nigerian market, or even the population has also risen? Do you think we've been able to use government policies from the banking sector, financial services sector, more folks doing more things in the technology space locally and globally? Hasn't this helped to reduce the level of financial exclusion such that now we're still doing 40% plus?
Yeah, there has been a lot of initiatives from from government, from CBN, from development agencies to drive down the level of exclusion. For financial services providers, they're beginning to use the electronic channels to deepen the delivery of their products and services. In the last 1 year, there has been an initiative on the SANEF, the Shared Agent Network Expansion Facility, where the industry came together with initiative to drive the growth of agent network, to increase agent network to about 500,000 in 2 years. And the banks, everybody is actually keen into that, towards that direction to roll out agent network to reach people in the rural areas.
Okay, if we look at some government initiatives over the last 3 years in which the government have tried to engage people more at the bottom of the pyramid, if you're talking about trader money, if you're talking about market money, what you call the social investment program, do you think these new initiatives by the current administration is beginning to help to expand financial inclusion and reduce the level of financial exclusion?
Yeah, yes, I totally agree with you. The government is making a frantic effort to drive down the level of financial exclusion. The social investment program is one of the key channels that the government is using to do that. The trader money, ordinarily, see some of those women in the market that don't have access to such kind of loan. and they actually, if they want to go to a traditional bank to get the loan, they require, most of them don't actually meet, will not meet the requirement to access the loan. But through the federal government intervention program, the trader money, as you mentioned, actually people are beginning to use to get access to that loan, and it's something that is progressive. As you get the loan and repay, you will be able to get more. And I think through that initiative, a lot of people are going to come on board using the formal channel for their financial services.
Okay, so in terms of the financial inclusion strategy of 2012, you mentioned a figure about 2020. Broaden that a little bit for us. What do you like to see in terms of the divergence, as you find in your new report, which is coming through on Tuesday next week, December 11, about the North-South? The IMF country representative for Nigeria spoke about the gap in terms of financial exclusion between the North and the South. Is this gap shrinking? What does the current and the previous reports on access to finance, what does it reveal?
So for the gap for North, I would say from our survey, if we look at the trend, the level of financial inclusion is more in the northern Nigeria, especially Northwest and Northeast. Currently for Northwest is about 70% and Northeast is about 62%. So I believe that a lot of intervention programs have actually targeted the North, government intervention programs, FIN as well. Through our grants, we also give grants to financial services providers to deepen financial products in the North. So I believe that the survey, the 2018 data is going to be positive. Is going to be positive. But from the National Financial Inclusion Strategy, really, we're looking at to reduce the total aggregate financial exclusion to 20%. And so the data is going to provide insight into that in terms of the data is going to break it down in terms of the access to electronic credit, pension, insurance, and so on.
Henry Chukwu, we thank you very much for giving us the heads up, as it were, on this particular report coming through next week. Thank you very much. Program specialist in charge of agents networks at FINA. Let's come back after the break. You're watching Business Morning.